Hey YouTube, this is Jack Connor. I just wanted to pop in with my thoughts on the recent Solo movie by Ron Howard. I saw it. I've seen it twice now, and I just wanted to share with you what I thought about it. It was a very enjoyable movie. It was fun. It felt Star Warsy in large part. I did have some issues with it, and I'll get into the positives and the negatives on it. I will go into some spoilers, so beware. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I was surprised by how much I liked the main character, the actor. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but that guy. He did a pretty good job, I thought. I mean, nobody is going to be as good as Harrison Ford, and obviously, I would have loved to have seen a younger Harrison Ford play Han Solo again. That said, Arlen Ehrenreich, whatever his name is, did a pretty good job. He was fine. In fact, I thought he was probably the best part about the movie. I thought the script was a little bit weak. It was a little bit slower than it should have been. A Star Wars movie should be fast, fast, fast. This was well, it was a little slower, and it's not the fault of the genre that it was in. It was a caper movie. It was a crime movie about Han Solo pulling off a heist and getting involved in the criminal underworld. And that was an interesting way to tell a Han Solo movie. It's not the Han Solo movie I would have wanted. I certainly didn't want an origin story. I didn't want a caper movie. I didn't want a Star Wars movie that was a caper movie. Star Wars should be adventure and action, good and evil, with at least a hint of the supernatural. And I think you can have a Star Wars movie without the supernatural, but it shouldn't be a caper movie. We can get a caper movie from Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 8, whatever. We don't need Han Solo to be that. Why put hundreds of millions of dollars in making a Star Wars movie just to have it be a heist movie that we could get anywhere else? It was a horrible idea. We certainly didn't need an origin story just telling us how Han Solo became Han Solo, even his name. I felt it was cheesy that an Imperial officer gave Han Solo his name. I thought that was stupid. That should just be his name. His name is Han Solo. He was born from Mr. and Mrs. Solo. Yeah. So that was a weakness. The pacing was a weakness. It was slower than it should have been. The script wasn't quite as strong as it could have been. The finale had a bunch of twists at the end, which is expected in a caper movie, and is just a fault of all caper movies, and is another reason why a Star Wars movie should not have been a caper movie. That said, it had some good humor in it. The humor in it felt natural. It felt Star Warsy. The aesthetic of it was good. It was a good looking movie. Even if it was not the movie I wanted, I did not want an origin story for Han Solo. I did not want it to be a caper movie. I thought it should have been faster. But for the movie that I got, I thought they did a pretty good job. The actors were all pretty good, with the exception of Woody Harrelson, who I normally love, and I was really expecting to love him in this. I did think that he kind of sleptwalked through the role a little bit. I mean, wake up, Woody, come on. You're in Star Wars. But, that said, everybody did a pretty good job. I would have loved to have seen Chalky White be in this movie as opposed to Vision, who was, and if you don't know, I forget the actor's name that plays Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire. He was originally going to play, and he originally did play, the villain part. But when they reshot most of the movie, when Ron Howard took over and reshot the movie, they got a different actor to play the villain, Paul Bettany, and he did a fine job. But I really would have liked to have seen what the Chalky White actor did would have done in that part. Anyway, moving on. Fun, Star Warsy, a little bit political with the droid. The droid that was in favor of droid rights. I really think that if you're going to introduce droid rights in Star Wars, that really puts a taint upon droids as a whole. It really labels them as a slave class, whereas if you just consider them robots, and every now and then you'll have a special robot with more personality and a soul, if you will, like C-3PO and R2-D2. I think that works. But if you have them all as slaves, it really makes the main characters, the humans and aliens, less likable and the civilization less likable as a whole. So I think that is a big mistake, introducing politics into the droids and having droid civil rights. I think that, again, puts a taint upon the whole droid culture, if you will, having a droid. Humans and aliens having a droid. If they are individuals with souls and free wills and intelligence, and if that's expected of a droid, then it's obviously wrong to have them in bondage. So you should not have introduced that as a concept in Solo. The movie did have some good action in it. I really enjoyed the space squid and the wormhole and all that kind of stuff. Very fun. Finally get to see Han Solo in action as the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. A lot of fun. I enjoyed the Kessel Run. I didn't enjoy the fact that the Kessel Run was in this movie. I didn't need to see Han Solo get everything that made him Han Solo, the Han Solo that we know and love. The blaster, a ship, the Kessel Run, etc. We didn't need to see all of that in one movie. So he gets everything that we know and love in the space of a few days. That's stupid. So, but anyway, that issue aside, it was a fine movie. I would give it a solid B, probably not a B plus, maybe verging on a B plus. I did enjoy it, and I will see it a third time, and I will probably buy it on Blu-ray. It did not remove the stain of The Last Jedi. It did not save the franchise. The Last Jedi put a horrible stain upon all of Star Wars, and that's a damn shame. And something needs to be done about that. I made a previous video talking about how Kathleen Kennedy needs to go, and I strongly feel that she does need to go, and Rian Johnson certainly needs to go. And the whole notion of recreating a new Star Wars audience is inherently a stupid idea. They are trying to, I guess they think that it's a new era, they should have a new audience. And so they're okay with alienating the original audience, which is stupid because those people that grew up on Star Wars and that love Star Wars like I do, we, would raise our kids in that love of Star Wars, like a religion. So you have a built-in fan base that's a generational, multi-generational fan base. Alienating them is unnecessary and stupid. So, yeah. So Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, and they need to go. They have made Star Wars political. They have alienated their fan base. They don't know how to tell a Star Wars story. They have broken the new trilogy. The new trilogy is no longer a coherent story. I've already talked about this in my previous video. So Star Wars right now is in a delicate place. Solo came along and it could have saved the franchise, but there's so much dislike for The Last Jedi and so much toxicity in the air about Star Wars these days that unfortunately Solo is doing very badly, and I don't blame Ron Howard for that. I thought the movie was only okay. It wasn't great, but it was fine. It was an acceptable Star Wars movie. But it deserves to do better than it is. It's doing really bad, and I feel bad for all the people involved in that movie, and the fault lies with Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, not with Arlen Ehrenreich and etc. So that's too bad. Hopefully Star Wars can be fixed with the next movie. Although I don't see how. I don't see how Episode 9 can fix things. J.J. Abrams did a good job of resurrecting Star Wars with The Force Awakens. I have a lot of issues with The Force Awakens, but I enjoy it. It's a good, fun, Star Wars-y feeling movie, and it successfully rebooted the franchise. After that movie, everybody was wearing Star Wars shirts, hats. You saw Star Wars everywhere. Even my mom, who doesn't even like Star Wars, went out to see it. and everybody was talking about it. So J.J. Abrams did a very good job with The Force Awakens in rebooting that in the public consciousness. Maybe he'll do something like that in Episode 9. We'll see, but I don't see how he can fix the trilogy because, as I've discussed in a previous video, the trilogy is broken now. Force Awakens introduced the concept of Luke Skywalker finding Luke Skywalker because he was going to do something significant for the plot in this new trilogy, and they dropped the ball on that in The Last Jedi. Not only did they drop the ball, they did many other things wrong. I won't get into that, but I don't know if Star Wars is fixable at this point. Solo is not the thing to fix it, but it was an okay movie. If you like Star Wars, I recommend going and watching it. Sorry if this review is a little rambling. My thoughts are a little bit all over the place on this, and I may have more thoughts in the future, but I am a little disappointed that Solo is doing so badly because I would like to see more adventures aboard the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo and Chewie. If they can find a way to tell a better Han Solo story where he's out actually having adventures in that universe, a la Mad Max or something. There's a hero, an anti-hero, making his way in this interesting universe, having standalone adventures per movie. I think that would be great. Han Solo in the pyramids of Zor or whatever. I think that would be great. Make that movie, please. I don't need to see any more caper movies starring Han Solo. But I do hope that they make another Han Solo movie. I think that'd be great. Please give us more adventures in that universe starring a swashbuckling, lovable scoundrel. I would love to see it. And I would love to see how Han Solo's relationship with Qi'ra progresses in the next movie. I thought that was fascinating that they have introduced a cool femme fatale in the Star Wars universe, and that is played by the actress that plays Daenerys. And I thought she did a competent job in this, playing Qi'ra, a very good, well-realized, archetypical femme fatale. And I love femme fatales. I love film noir. So, please, yeah, that's awesome. Bring it on. And having Han Solo have a multi-volume relationship with a femme fatale character like that would be really cool. I would love to see where that goes. That could even have implications for the future. So by all means, make more Han Solo movies. Bring Qi'ra into it. Have something interesting happen. But sadly, I don't think there is going to be another Han Solo movie. Solo has done so badly. Maybe they will. Maybe Disney will just look at it like, we knew it was going to be a disaster because having to reshoot it and all the other problems. So maybe they're just expecting to take their lumps from this and they will proceed forward with another one. We'll see. It's kind of looking doubtful at the moment. Anyway, I enjoyed Han Solo. I recommend it. Not a great movie, but fun. It doesn't embarrass the name of Star Wars. It is okay. I have to add before I leave. I have to add this one thing, and that's that I'm almost glad that it's doing bad, and that is the real sad state that we have come to with Star Wars, is that we need to save Star Wars from Lucasfilm. The fans have to save Star Wars from the people that are making Star Wars. It's really horrible that we are here now, but that is the place that we're at. They are ruining the franchise, especially with The Last Jedi, and a lot of the comments that have come down from Lucasfilm and the actors and writers and so on, very patronizing and insulting to the fans. Why would you further alienate the fans? When you see this division in the fan base, now is the time to bring them back, to restore faith in the property. But they're not doing that. They are doing the opposite of that. They are driving that division home. They are making the cracks wider. It's really stupid. I can't believe they're doing that. It's very sad. So because of that reason, it's important that the fans make their voices heard. And one of the big ways they're doing that is by staying home from Solo. I did not stay home from Solo. I was very interested in this movie, and they were trying to bring heroism, even anti-heroism, back to Star Wars. That's something sorely lacking in The Last Jedi, and it felt like it was thematically more Star Warsian. Need to come up with a better adjective for that. Anyway, it Solo felt more Star Warsian, and I wanted to support it, and I did. But that being said, I'm actually kind of glad that it's doing so badly because it shows that fans are making their voices heard. And I guess I'm kind of having my cake and eating it too. Sorry. Anyway, Solo is doing badly. Hopefully, Lucasfilm is getting the point, and they will do better in the future. We will see if they axe Rian Johnson's trilogy and Rian himself and Kathleen Kennedy. If they can start taking steps to heal the damage, that would be great. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening. Please like, share this video, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. I want to know what you think about Solo and the state of Star Wars generally. Thank you very much. Bye.